Hello again, I am Blunty, and I would have had this video done a little bit sooner, but I had to find the perfect avatar for it. I think I nailed it. Let me know on the down below what you reckon. I just look at this. Is there any happier Monster Hunter in the world right now? So, yesterday I live streamed the Game Awards. My stream title mentioned, I'm just here for the Monster Hunter Copium, because, well, any and all hope of a new announcement of Monster Hunter 6 was quickly draining away when Dragon's Dogma 2 was announced for release within 2 weeks of the 20th anniversary of Monster Hunter next year, which was like, what are you doing, Capcom? Now, an hour before the game was started, I tweeted out this, mentioning the fact that Monster Hunter World just got its deepest discount ever, and it felt like it might be something Capcom would do ahead of an announcement for the next new monster game, and man, did they make us wait for it, right at the end of the Game Awards as the final world premiere, without any introduction, without context, and as all but the last few cubic centimeters of hopium had left my lungs, we got this. And I didn't even recognize it as Monster Hunter until something sounded familiar. This doesn't look like Monster Hunter. Why does this music sound familiar? Ah, that's why. It was Monster Hunter! What?
Behold, my random assortment.
On my subsequent repeated rewatches, I can see the hints more clearly now that I missed the first time through. These creatures, for example, look a lot like the Galm goats from Sunbreak, don't they? Same body type, same big thick tail and everything. And this animation right here from this larger monster, I'd say very familiar one, isn't it? Smells like fanged beast monsters like Rajang and Gos Harag and Azeros. In fact, this does seem to be some sort of Harag variant. Something Harag, not Gos Harag, because Gossamer is, icy and stuff like that, but something else. Desert Harag. Now, we weren't served much, were we? But man, you watch us content creators make a meal out of this hamburger helper of a teaser trailer. Structure-wise, my guess immediately after the trailer finished was
Monster Hunter series
open world
producer,
Monster Hunter.
Tujimoto, it's so great to have you here at the
Open
Game
world
Awards.
Monster
We got to
Hunter.
hang out in Osaka early.
Seems like a fair enough guess, right? Super huge and open-looking map the player character in the teaser was scampering across, combined with a mode of transport, several levels of flexibility evolved over the now humble-looking Palamute from Rise. It seems like the reason we have such a fast and all-terrain, two-leg cantering, four-leg galloping, rock-face scampering, and leaping and gliding transport in glorious Archaeopteryx style is because these maps, or perhaps singular map, will be huge. Combine that with the unusually thick density of small monsters roaming in herds the size of which we have never seen before, which hopefully should address the world babies whining that the worlds in Rise felt a little dead because they weren't as densely packed with foliage and other critters as World was. Well, it's a Switch game, what do you want? But yeah, this sort of answers that, doesn't it? It seems like it's going to be thickly rich, a world bustling with life. Everywhere you look, there are things going on and creatures going about their lives. It seems very exciting for immersion's sake. It sure feels like it's going to be an open world, seamless map to explore and traverse to our heart's content, doesn't it? And my guess would also be it's a seamless drop-in, drop-out multiplayer experience. Probably not with a singular persistent, well, no MMO style thing here, although that would be very interesting, wouldn't it? But maybe something more like Dauntless's Hunting Grounds, which where, a fistful of players, I think it's up to like 8 or 10 or something. In Monster Hunter, it's maybe 16. We have missed the 16-player Lovely 70, or was it 18? 16 or 18 in World. God, I've forgotten. But anyway, something like Dauntless does, where a fistful of players can matchmake into a shared map and they can all just scamper around doing their own thing, or naturally team up in various spots for hunts and join a hunt, midway through. And, oh, there's people fighting that thing over there. I'm just going to run over there and help them out and all that kind of stuff. It seems like it would work really well for Monster Hunter as well, because it does work well in Dauntless. And with Wilds being confirmed as multi-platform, as we might have expected, featuring PlayStation and Xbox and Steam logos at the end, the hope is, unlike World or Rise, simultaneous multiplayer cross-play, because the Monster Hunter community has been screaming at Capcom for the last 6 years or more when Monster Hunter World came out multi-platform but without cross-platform multiplayer, and then they did it again with Rise. Capcom have said they've heard us on this issue. They promised they've heard us. Are they going to do something about it? Because hearing us and doing something are not the same thing. So I really hope they're not making the same huge mistake again. And this is something I made a video almost entirely dedicated about the issues around a little earlier this year. This is the one mistake they cannot make. Note also, that seems like a bowgun sticking out of the saddlebag. A light bowgun would be my guess. So my next assumption would be our Archaeopteryx-looking hunter partner will function as something of a mobile campsite, offering what in older Monster Hunter games would be our chest, where we can swap out equipment and change our armor and swap weapons and restock on potions and other consumables. Or maybe it's just a persistent bowgun because there's some sort of mechanic in the game that requires us to have a ranged weapon with us at all times, because thinking about the way that saddlebag works, is that going to look right if there's like a massive switch axe in there or a hammer or something? Or is it just for a bowgun? I don't know, but I'm interested to find out. I'd imagine, this mobile campsite would be a more limited thing than the chests. Perhaps only carrying a limited support stock of consumables, maybe one change of armor, maybe one alternate weapon, enough for some flexibility while you're out there in the world, something to get you through a few large monster encounters before we have to find a real camp and restock properly, and thereby balancing our ability to stay out in the wilds for a good amount of time, but also having to be mindful of how much stuff we're using and when and why we're using it, keeping the tension and the balance there without feeling like we're running around with an unlimited supply of equipment, because that was something else people whined about in some of the more recent games, where you could go back to camp and get as much extra stuff as you want to then go back to the hunt. People are like, oh, you don't have to worry about your limited supplies so much and it's not as fun. I don't agree with that necessarily, but maybe this is a balancing act between those two needs and wants for the player base. We also see what seems to be active weather changes, with a big storm washing in and making the herd stampede and riling up bigger monsters. And then at the reveal moment, we see a huge change flow over the dry, sandy environment as all that sand is blown away by this weather, washing in a grassland and streams, and new herds of small monsters come in. Does this mean fully dynamic spaces in the open world? Does this mean just an environment that changes from one state to another when we achieve something in the game? Or does the world and maybe even the geography transform over time into different ecosystems, attracting different monsters to fight as we progress through the game? Maybe. And of course, as is tradition, we have to acknowledge the Wrathies swooping by, because what's the Monster Hunter game without one of those? Now, some of the smaller details I caught on a rewatch, or 2 or 3 or 4. Seriously, this is all we've got right now. I saw what seems to be a Monster Hunter World-style slinger on the left arm of the hunter, but it's much, much smaller than the slingers in World. So is it more limited in capacity? Probably won't have a clutch claw on it again, because that was in Iceborne met with, at best, mixed opinions, and a lot of loud displeasure in general in the way that mechanic was forced upon us, and having the weakened parts and all that sort of stuff. People seem to whine a lot about that. So maybe this miniature slinger is just for throwing sort of little nuts and smoke bombs and stuff around. There's a bedroll on the back of the mount too, which might just be for design flair. It seems like the kind of thing you would have on a saddle like that, but might also mean we can, in fact, set up temporary campsites out in the world to have convenient access to certain kinds of limited crafting, perhaps, or cooking, probably more likely. Set up a campsite to do some cooking, have a meal, refresh your HP, your stamina, get some buffs going, all that kind of stuff, and out you go again. Maybe you can also use it as a temporary fast travel point, like a regular campsite. When we saw the traversal, it seems like they've done a classic video game thing of hinting at where is a kind of valid jumping or landing spot with the use of environmental colors. In this case, a blue crystalline ore of some kind, letting you know, hey, you can jump to this bit. You can land right there, that's safe. Well, as safe as you ever are in the Monster Hunter world anyway. The world is scattered with these huge, narrow spikes as well, which get hit by lightning in a few bits of the trailer. Or is it lightning? because it also strikes one of the small herbivores who seems to survive it just fine. You'd think lightning striking a little herbivore like that, kill it instantly, but no, it just goes, whoa. My guess would be this isn't normal weather lightning at all, but some kind of strange energy, the misbalance of which will be the core narrative point of the game. This energy disrupts the natural equilibrium, changes environments, messes up the weather, aggravate monsters, enraging them, changing them like the frenzy virus or the curio. It changes them in some way, making them more dangerous or more disruptive in the environment. A problem for the balance of nature, which is why we are out there hunting them down, trying to solve the mystery of this strange energy and get it back under control again. And also, these lightning rods do appear to be artificial in nature, placed there deliberately long ago, scattered around the world in an attempt to control or mitigate this phenomenon in some way. And they're all sort of decrepit and falling over, so maybe that's why it's been a problem now, because these things have started to fail and fall over, so now the energy's all out of whack and all the things happen. And in my sort of pausing through the trailer, I also spotted what looks to be a scout flag cage on the armor. Something from World, but missing from Rise. And frankly, if scout flies are back, I really hope they completely ground up, rework them, because in World they kind of sucked. I hated them for the most part. For the one job they had of helping you navigate around and find stuff, they were really not very good at it, especially on maps like the Ancient Forest. How many times, hands up in the dump, how many times do you get lost in the Ancient Forest trying to follow the scout flies around? Oh, it must be going this way, and then the scout flies change their mind and they go the other way, and you go the other way and you run down that way, and the scout flies change their mind and go, no, actually the monster's this way. They need to work a lot better in this game if I'm going to be happy about having them back. But that's pretty much it. That's all I spotted, really, of note at least, in my first impressions. I'm done with my first impressions and first speculations now. Now I get to go watch what other Monster Hunter creators have been saying about all of this and find out if we're on the same wavelength, or if I'm just like a crazy person over here, like way off the general consensus and just making shit up, pulling it out of my ass. Or maybe other creators are pulling more interesting things out of their ass. I don't know yet. I really wanted to get my own thoughts out of my head before I saw what everyone else was saying about this kind of stuff. Again, let me know down below who else you have watched and what sort of other ideas you think of interesting that they've come up with, and point me to their videos and stuff so I can go check them out for myself. But man, yeah, this looks really, really cool. And oh my god, the wait for 2025 is going to be real hard. The only thing that annoys me about any of this is the abbreviation. We can't call it MHW for Monster Hunter Wilds because Monster Hunter World already has that acronym. According to the post from the new official Japanese Twitter account, we should abbreviate it to MHWs, all capitals and little s, which, fine, I guess. Still confusing though, I think. Maybe the community will settle on something better, because the community often dictates these things. What do you reckon? What should we abbreviate this to? Frankly, I don't know. I got nothing better than MHW little s. It's fine, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Blunting, and I will catch you next time. It's hard to do the salute with my head this big. I got to reach all the way up here. Normally it's way down here. Catch you next time. Thank you as always to the patrons scrolling up above my wibbly wobbly wiggler head. Wibbly 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 wibbly. Seriously, I'm keeping this avatar. Or maybe I'm going to try and find this asset to put on one of my own avatars. Oh, it's great. Wibbly 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 wibbly.